Yeah, now, Drew, you've had success and you have experienced winning at every level you've been on. Now, how prepared do you feel for pro ball?
I feel real prepared, and that's one thing I really, if guys ask me, for the, whether they should sign out of high school or go to college, I say I'm a big believer in college, obviously for the education and everything, but I really feel like in college you learn to win. High school, obviously, winning was important, but going to college and kind of having that need to win on a big stage, like, fortunately for me, I was able to pitch in Omaha, and that's really something that there's no substitute for, and I feel like I'm ready to prepare to win a World Series game because of that kind of stuff. Obviously, the World Series is going to be a bigger stage, but I've been in high level, I guess high nerve situations in college, and I really think that prepared me well for pro ball.
No doubt about that. Now, you're a member of an organization now which has not had a lot of success in the last few years. Do you feel like the tide is going to be turning for the Nats in the near future with some of their picks and the direction they're going?
Oh, no doubt about it. And you can even tell at the end of the year last year, Jim Riggleman did a great job at the end of the year kind of turning the team around. And you have some young guys. I mean, you don't have a better third baseman than Ryan Zimmerman. And, you have a great young pitching staff. With the moves that we've made here in the offseason to sign some great veterans like Pudge and Jason Marquis and, having some bullpen guys coming in too, and obviously with Strasburg, you can't really go wrong with the direction the Nats are going. And I really think that we're going to surprise the people, but at the same time, if people are paying attention, it won't be a surprise that we'll be doing well this year.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to seeing, what happens with the Nats and the kind of steps that they take this year to kind of, get their feet firmly cemented in the ground and do some good things in the National League. So we're going to keep watch on that team. Now, you've been bred as a closer for the most part. I mean, it seems like that's the route colleges go now. They pick a guy out and they stick with him as the closer, and it's that transition to the big leagues. Now, what does it take mentally to be a successful closer? What have you noticed about that?
It's funny because people ask like how you need to think as a closer, and honestly, the less you think, the better. It's one of those things where you have to simplify the game so much. Like if I come into a game with bases loaded, 1 out against the best hitter in the world, you just kind of have to think about, hey, where am I going to put this pitch? Don't worry about the runners on base, and by really simplifying and minimizing the game, that's the key to my success. Not getting caught up in the situation.
So we're talking paralysis by analysis, as they used to say.
Yeah, and that's what I also have a short-term memory.
Yeah.
For both positive and negative. If I go out and strike out the side on a Friday night, have to come in on Saturday, I don't need to go out there and think that I can just throw my glove on the mound and do the same thing again. I tell people a lot. I did blow a couple saves this year in college, but I always came back the next day throwing harder, and I always did better the second day. And that's always the toughest day to go to the ballpark. If you don't have that short-term memory, that's a tough day to go to the ballpark after you give up a home run to blow a game or something,
Yeah.
And that's something you look at Brad Lidge, and, there nobody's had ups and downs in their career like that guy has, but he still shows up and he still wants to blow in the ninth. And that's the way I am. I'm the type of guy, I don't want anybody else to have that. And that's just kind of how I am. I love winning, like I said earlier, but, I want to be the guy that wins it, and I also don't mind being the guy that loses it.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's exactly the kind of mentality you have to be successful as a closer, and definitely in professional baseball. You have to have that short-term memory, and you got to believe in yourself when others might not believe in you. You got to keep everything in perspective. Now, you mentioned before about Steven Strasburg, getting picked up as the #1 pick of the Nats. How much impact do you think he's going to have on the Nats and the National League?
I think he's already had a huge impact, and he hasn't thrown a pitch for him. Being out in the fall league, the attention that we've gotten in this offseason because of him is pretty unbelievable and really exciting. I think the parallel between LeBron James and him, and I mean, you look at the way the Cavaliers were before LeBron Ron James got there, kind of turned the organization around. And there are more Nationals fans out here now because of him, and that's pretty cool. And not to mention, performance-wise, he's going to live up